How's it going, everybody? Sick Eric back again with another video. We're going to try this again, and today we're doing a spec comparison between the Galaxy A52 5G and the Google Pixel 4a 5G. Both really great devices, coming in at about $500. Now both of these are really great devices. Yeah, each one has their weaknesses, but they also have their strong points on each one of them. Really good phones either way. We're going to talk about the specs and go over some pictures and show you guys a little display test sample and things like that. So but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that little notification bell for future notifications on my channel. So let's go ahead and jump down into it. So as far as build quality on either one of these, they're both made out of plastic. Over here on the A52, you get Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front, and the back is made out of a very thin plastic, so it sort of feels a little bit hollow. On the A52, the sides are plastic as well. Over here on the Pixel 4a, you get Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the front, and the back is a unibody plastic back. It does feel a little bit more solid compared to the A52, just because the plastic seems to be thicker, and it is pretty much a unibody design. I definitely prefer the feel of the Google Pixel 4a 5G compared to the Samsung. As far as looks wise, the Samsung looks better, but it's to each his own on that part. Pretty much the Pixel feels solid and feels better in the hand compared to the cheap hollow feel of the Galaxy A52 5G. The A52 does offer IP67 water and dust resistance, and the Pixel 4a does not, so that is an advantage over here on the A52. Going on over to the display, the Samsung has a 6.5 inch Super AMOLED display. It does have a 120 Hz refresh rate, so that's really nice. It does have a peak brightness of 800. So it's not really the highest in brightness area on both of these, but it still should do the job. It is a little bit hard to see outdoors. It does have a resolution of 1080 by 2400, and it does have a 20:9 aspect ratio with 407 pixels per inch, 84.1% screen to body ratio over here on the A52. Going on over to the Google Pixel, you do get a 6.2 inch display with a resolution of 1080 by 2340. You do get a 19:9 aspect ratio, 413 pixels per inch, and both of these do offer always on displays. As far as brightness goes, it does not show a peak brightness, but it does get bright enough. They're probably about the same outdoors on either one of these, so you will have a little bit of issue reading them outside in the bright sunlight. It is an OLED compared to an AMOLED over here on the Samsung A52, but they both offer, like I said earlier, always on displays. Of course, the Samsung is a bit more customizable than over here on the Pixel. Let's see if we can unlock these again. But both really great devices. You can tweak them as far as your colors go, adaptive, and over here on the Samsung you do get the motion smoothness of the Samsung, and you do have the options for vivid and natural. The Google Pixel 4a only has a 60 Hz refresh rate, if that is a big problem for you. The Samsung definitely going to feel a little bit more smoother than the 60 Hz over here on the Google Pixel, but both really great displays. The Samsung will probably be a little bit better, but you'll be seeing some samples of the display on both of these phones. Both of these are running Android 11. The Samsung over here is running Android 11 with Samsung's One UI 3.1, the latest and greatest from Samsung. You get the Snapdragon 750G 5G chipset over here on the Samsung. This model has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage, and the GPU is the Adreno 619. You do get micro SD card support over here on the Samsung, so keep that in mind. Over here on the Pixel 4a, you do get Android 11 with the Snapdragon 765G, which is a little bit more of a powerful processor than the 750. This particular model has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. The GPU is going to be the Adreno 620, so a little bit more higher specs over here on the Google Pixel 4a 5G. No micro SD card expansion, unfortunately, on the Pixel. As far as performance goes, the Pixel 4a feels a little bit more snappier than the Samsung, just because of that higher chipset, and the refresh rate is only 60 Hz over here. So it's kind of either or. The Samsung feels a little bit more smoother sometimes, but you do get a little bit more lag over here on the Samsung for some reason. The Pixel 4a just feels a little bit more snappier. And it does have a higher processor to help with, video editing or doing, games and things like that. The Samsung would do okay, but the Pixel 4a would be a little bit more of a multitasker powerhouse as far as performance goes. Going on over to the cameras, you will be seeing some flashes on your screen of some pictures taken on both of these. Over here on the Samsung, you do get 4 cameras on the back and 1 on the front. On the rear, you're going to get a main sensor of 64 megapixels with an aperture of f1.8. And then you do get an ultra wide of 12 megapixels, aperture of f2.2. And then you get a 5 megapixel macro, f2.4, and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, f2.4. Over here on the Samsung, your front facing camera is going to be your little hole punch cutout over here, 32 megapixels, aperture of f2.2. You can record 4K 60 on the rear, 4K 30 on the front and on the back. So that's really nice and definitely an advantage for Samsung. Going on over to the Google Pixel 4a 5G, cameras are a little bit more simpler over here. The main sensor is a 12.2 megapixel sensor, aperture of f1.7. You do get an ultra wide 16 megapixel sensor, f2.2. On the front is going to be an 8 megapixel sensor with an aperture of f2.0. You can record up to 4K 60 on the rear facing cameras of the Google Pixel, but only 1080-30 on the front facing camera. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide between both of these. You can record 4K on the Samsung on the front facing camera and only 1080p on the Google Pixel. As far as video goes, they're both pretty good in the video department. Like I said, you'll be seeing some flashes on your screen with some pictures and some video playback taken on both of these devices. That way you guys can get an idea of how each one looks. As far as audio goes, you do get stereo speakers on both of these. You get Dolby Atmos over here on the Samsung device, movie, music, and voice, which is really cool. You get stereo speakers over here on the Google Pixel 4a 5G, and both of them sound pretty good for what they are. I don't have preference on either one of which one I think sounds better. They're both pretty equal to me. As far as other little perks on the Google Pixel 4a 5G, you get Bluetooth 5.0, and it does sound good and everything. No drops or connection issues right there. It does have USB Type-C 3.1. You get a rear mounted fingerprint sensor over here on the Google Pixel 4a 5G. Over here on the Samsung, you also get Bluetooth 5.0, USB Type-C 2.0, and your fingerprint sensor is going to be under the display. As far as speed goes, I definitely might prefer the Google Pixel 4a 5G. It might be a little bit quicker than the Samsung, but to each his own. The optical fingerprint sensor on the Samsung is cool and everything, but it can be a little slow and a little bit iffy depending on if your fingers are wet or dirty. While the Google Pixel 4a is definitely in a nice spot on the rear and more traditional and more secure. As far as battery goes, the Samsung A52 has a 4500 milliamp hour battery, You get 25-watt charging over here, no wireless charging on the Samsung, but it only comes with a 15-watt charger in the box, so keep that in mind. You might want to purchase an extra 25-watt charger to take advantage of those full charging speeds. Over here on the Pixel 4a 5G, it has a 3885 milliamp hour battery, 18-watt charger, and the 18-watt charger does come in the box. No wireless charging again on this phone either. But as far as battery goes, they're both about the same. Even though the Pixel is smaller, the optimization by Google is really good. You can get a full day out of both of these, no problem, no issues whatsoever with that. As far as battery charging goes, if you have a 25-watt charger, the Samsung might charge quicker, but the Google Pixel 4a does come with an 18-watt charger in the box, so you're ready to go with the fast charging over here on the Pixel 4a, while over here on the Samsung, it only comes with a 15-watt charger, so keep that in mind. Both of these phones are really nice phones. As far as performance goes, I might have to give that to the Pixel 4a 5G. Even though it has that lower refresh rate display, it does feel a lot more snappier than the Samsung, and the Samsung, I tend to get a little bit of lag every now and then, especially when scrolling. It is 120 Hertz, but sometimes it does have a little lag to it. While over here on the Pixel, it's only 60, but it does feel a little bit more snappier sometimes. As far as editing videos, I do have issues over here on the Samsung when editing high quality videos. It does tend to lag a little bit, while over here on the Pixel, it just lags a little bit, but not as much as the Samsung does. I'm able to do a little bit more on the Pixel with that Snapdragon 765 compared to the Snapdragon 750. I wish they would have put a higher processor on the A52. That would have made it a little bit better. But as far as that goes, both of these are really great devices, both around the same price, $599. You can't go wrong with either one of them. This one does have water and dust resistance, the Pixel doesn't. You do get extra cameras over here. Granted, they're only a depth sensor and a macro, but as far as video goes, you can go 4K on the front over here on the Samsung, while only 1080p on the Pixel, so keep that in mind. Both really great. Comment down below on which one you think you might be picking up, and hopefully this video gave you some insight on which one you might want to get if you're on the fence about either one of these. Like I said, as far as price wise, both about $500, both really great. It depends on what you want. The Google Pixel are known for taking really good pictures, while Samsung has really good software and video, and you know, it is full of features over here as far as, you know, advanced features and things like that. So to each his own on both of them. You get stock Google experience over here, while you get Samsung's One UI over here. So to each his own. Comment down below which one you think is better. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't, and I really appreciate it, guys. Subscribe, like, and share. Do all that other stuff. Stay safe. Go out and get vaccinated. It's the right thing to do. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.